Hey kids, I have a few hours today, so I'm going to get to work on this. I have this awesome Epiphone neck that was given to me by Daniel Harju. Thanks, Dan. And it's a short scale bass neck. I'm going to make a body for it. I'm going to use this CNC machine here, my Piranha that I got from Rockler. I can just fit this blank of wood in here that has a guitar body living inside it. With this template and with my Vectric software, I'm going to create a neck pocket that fits this neck, lay it out, lay out a pickup, cut it all out of the center of this block of wood. Then I can line my template up, cut it on the bandsaw, and then use a pattern bit or something to make it nice. Should work. Let's find out. None of the stuff I'm going to do here with the CNC needs to be done with the CNC. You could also just make simple templates to do this, but I wanted to experiment with the Vectric software some more. And by the way, you can get that software, you can get free trials from Vectric.com to try it out yourself. I really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to learning more about this stuff. But so I wanted to get accuracy in my neck pocket and my pickup and the layout. I used the software and I was able to, as you can see, I'm designing a whole guitar in there as I'm learning this technology. I think I will probably end up cutting out most of it by hand, but I want to know that my files work. And it's all new to me and exciting. When I was making the door guitar, I learned some stuff, and I'm going to try to apply that now to this build. I have 15 inches of space between the gantry of my CNC. My guitar bodies really only need about 14 inches. I want to cut some stuff out in the middle, blah, blah, woof. So anyways, I'm going to cut this blank down to be 14 inches by 19 inches, and then figure out a way to clamp it into this machine. This is a blank I made out of some reclaimed maple from a dining table. There's a little bit of walnut on the ends. And then this is some oak, some skinny oak stuff I glued on the front like a veneer to get the right thickness. That oak is actually from an old pump organ, and I'm also using some of the black ebony keys from that pump organ to make the nut and bridge. My buddy Steve over at SDM Custom on Instagram and YouTube and whatnot made a video about this, showing you how to make it. This very cool little idea he came up with. Guitar necks are not like parallelograms, they sort of go out like this. So he came up with this idea. Use these two aluminum rulers. You can line them up on your neck right at the nut. Oops. Clamp that down, and then that gets us our splay, so we can line everything up onto our body the way we want it, and then use these rulers to draw out the lines. And that'll help us line up our bridge and our pickups and whatnot. Now what I have to do is find the center. So that's where we have to put our router bit in the CNC, and then make sure we have the clearance and the distance to go everywhere we need to go. Well, this is going to work out fine because I can clamp, since I'm not worrying about cutting down here, I can clamp this board all the way down here. This is as far forward as my router will come, so I want to go just back behind that a little bit so I'm not stressing it. Clamp it down from the back. Alright, looks good. So now we just got to center this on my dot. Okay, no one touched this. Now we'll go back to the computer and figure out all our depths and cuts. I'm just eyeballing this at, I'm going to go 0.65 or so. This pickup is 0.876 inches deep. I know it's going to stick out at least a little bit, so I'm going to go 0.6 again. This right here is what excites me about CNC. That precision fit, I'm just not good enough to do that by hand. But apparently I'm good enough to code it and set it all up in the machine. If I were to do this by hand with a template, I just know I would have screwed something up. I can use these lines that I had already drawn on for my string spacing to line it up. The whole spacing between the pickup and this will be accurate. So it's just that what might happen if I screw this up is that my guitar will look a little kind of crooked like that or something. I'll take a look before we make this permanent. These 4 holes here are going to be where the strings are going to go through the body. And now I'm going to use those holes right now with 4 screws to hold this template in place, and that will align them where I want them. For later I can use those screw holes as pilot holes for drilling. This is pretty well affixed, so I'm going to rough cut it out on the bandsaw and then use a router, like a pattern router, to finish her off. And I don't need all of these anymore, now that my holes are marked. See, now with this bit we can put our bearings on the bottom, we put our template on the bottom, and we can put the bearing down so it doesn't cut, like, so we're not cutting all of that, so part of the blade's against the template, and then we're cutting way less material at once, which is safer and gives a better end result. It only cut half the depth. I have this one spot here that chipped out a little bit, but that's fine because I'm going to be contouring and shaping the body there anyways. Now what I would do is take off my template and then put the bearing right against this clean edge. I got enough clean edge here to follow. I think that'll be fine. And cut the rest off. Now I forgot, like a moron, I'm going to put a little glue there, that's okay. I forgot like a moron that there wasn't anything to put the bearing against there. So I kind of dipped in a little bit. I'll have to clean that up in these sanding. And then this chipped edge got a little messed up. It was grabbing and giving me a hard time. I almost cut myself. Pulled me right towards it. But that's all pretty easy to fix. I don't need that much space in there to wire it as I had. So here's our basic outline. There's always a little bit of tweaking and fine-tuning and figuring out you got to do when you're sort of making something that's never been made before. I really want to use a piano key for the bridge. It's a little bit low. I got a lot of, not all the notes are sounding, you know. So I could just cut another piece of hardwood that's a little bit taller and shape out a new bridge. Or I could put a little riser underneath this one. When I make these videos, I have to skip a lot of details just to keep them in some kind of a reasonable length. I might make some breakout videos about some of these other little aspects of guitar making that I've learned. I have an older 19-part series where I explored that. I've gotten a lot better at video making and guitar making since then, so I think I might reintroduce some of these ideas. Like, for instance, these knobs here that I make out of some scrap wood, as well as these strap holders that I made out of old carriage bolts. Pretty happy with the way this turned out. I hope you dig it, and I hope you enjoy this journey that I'm on and coming along with me. This one, once I finish setting it all up, I think I'm going to make it for sale to finance some other builds that I'd like to do. And I know I say that about all of them, but I really got to start selling some of them. If you like what I do, you can like, share, and subscribe. That really helps me a lot. You can also support me on Patreon, which really helps me a lot. And just thanks a lot and have a great day. Be good.